stop what you're doing with your money. You need to do this one thing before you do anything else with any penny. Hey there, my name is Jen. I'm the creator of Modern Frugality, and I'm here to help you have more money, save more money, earn more money, so that you can do better things with your money. And today I want to talk about the foundation to any personal finance plan. To anything, all experts agree. There is not one person that disagrees with this one tenet, and you need to have it before you pay off debt, before you buy a house, before you invest, before you do anything with your money. And that is have a savings account. That's it. That is what you need. Specifically, you knew there were details, but you need an emergency fund in a savings account that is separate from your checking account. So not the savings account that's attached to your checking account, but you need an emergency fund in a high yield savings account that's separate from that. What do I mean by high yield? Well, it's just going to have an APY, annual percentage yield, which sometimes is referred to as interest. It's the good interest. The APR, annual percentage rate, is the bad interest that we don't want to pay. The APY is the good stuff that we earn on savings accounts. And right now, you used to be able to get like 2%, 1.5% on high yield savings accounts, and hopefully that day will come back. But right now, you're getting about 0.5 to 0.75. Gosh, I haven't seen anything higher than 0.61 lately, but it just gives you that little edge on inflation, because you might have a goal to save 3 to 6 months of expenses for your emergency fund, but you may not realize or think about every year your expenses go up, whether you are buying a house, having kids, or even if you're not doing any of that stuff. Inflation is around 3% every year. We won't see that for the next year or two, so you're going to be okay, but it just gives you a little hedge against inflation. Not completely, but a little bit. Now, if you want to take it a step further, in addition to an emergency fund, I would say also have a separate sinking fund, also in a high yield savings account, totally separate. So personally, I have 3 bank accounts, one for my regular checking and savings, one for my emergency fund, and then one for short-term savings. So this is not something that I'm going to be buying maybe next month or like in a month or two, but something that's going to take me 3 to 6 months to save for, that I don't want to accidentally spend. I say accidentally in air quotes. I don't want to accidentally spend it and not have the money for whatever I'm saving for, whether it's a car, whether it's an appliance replacement, an upgrade of some sort. I want to have the money, but I won't be able to budget for it in one budget or maybe even 2. So I put it in a separate sinking fund away from my checking, which I could spend, but also away from my emergency fund, because I don't want to trick myself into thinking I have more to spend than I actually do. The emergency fund is for emergencies you can't plan for. So namely unemployment. You're saving that 3 to 6 months of expenses in case you become unable to work. So the sinking fund is like maybe a medical bill comes up and you have a few months to save up and pay for it. That's where the sinking fund would go. Now, obviously, if you have a deductible that you need to pay immediately, that's going in the regular budget. We're paying for that up front or from the emergency fund if it's too big to put in the budget. So that's kind of how you divvy it up. But these are things you need to have before you pay off debt, before you invest in a Roth IRA, before you buy a home. And these things are non-negotiable. These things don't go towards other financial goals. They are your safety net. They keep you from going into more debt. They give you that cash cushion if you're making a big purchase. They help you with repairs that may be unexpected on those big purchases. If anybody has ever bought a used car or bought a home, then you know as soon as you get in there, there will be unforeseen repairs or purchases. So you need to have extra cash. So which high yield savings account do I recommend? It changes all the time, but there are a few things that you can look for to make sure your high yield savings account is optimal. So the first one is you don't want any fees. Fees are unacceptable in this millennia. You don't have to pay fees. So I don't want to have to deposit a certain amount every month to avoid the fee. I don't want to have to keep a certain balance to avoid the fee. I just want no fee on that bank account. And then the second is a yield of at least 0.5%. If you are getting under 0.5 right now, you could be doing better. Obviously, it's a very minimal difference, but if you're opening a new account, those are just the two things to look for. You want over 0.5 and absolutely no fees, or hoops to jump through to get those no fees. Right now, I am loving Axos Bank, and I will put the link to that in the description and in the comments. So I love it because right now it's 0.61, so that's a lot higher than 0.5. It's one of the highest ones I've seen, and there are absolutely no hoops to jump through to get there. Yes, I am seeing 3%, 4%, 1% on some things, but they require a lot of hoops to jump through to get there, and that's not sustainable. So you're thinking long term with an emergency fund or a sinking fund, you don't want to have to jump funds and jump banks all the time. It's just not worth it to chase those APYs. So I want something that doesn't have any hoops to jump through, but still offers a good APY. And right now, my favorite one for that is Axos. I am not loyal or committed to any bank, but I am an affiliate for Axos because I like them right now, but that doesn't mean they're going to be my favorite forever. It's just they are my favorite right now. So look mainly for those two things at whatever time you're watching this video. No fees, no hoops to jump through, and at least 0.5%. So let me know in the comments if you have, how many high yield savings accounts you have, if you're going to sign up for another one, or if you have any questions, I'd love to answer those. And hit that subscribe button if you want more tips on personal finance, how to save money and earn more, and I will see you next week.